Hi everyone, my name is Ileana Torres and I'm the Senior ARP Instructor for the MAP program. And in this video, I'm going to briefly review how to complete the project plan. Now, the project plan is a required component or a required submission in MP620A. So up until now, you've already completed the ARP proposal, you have your literature review, and so in 620A, you're going to work on some documents that are more specific to your project. So I've gotten a few questions already, and many students are wondering why they aren't getting a whole lot of detail about what type of peripheral documents they need. And the reason for that is because you all have very different projects, and you'll be creating, probably all of you will be creating very different supplemental documentation. So in Module 1, you have the instructions for the detailed project plan. And at the bottom here, you also have a list of some suggested peripheral documents. For example, for the program development, we have a list of some documents that you would need in order to perhaps carry out that project. Now, again, you're not required to carry out your ARPs, but they should be written as if you were actually going to create it. So again, that's really what you're going to be working on this term, is some of that supplemental documentation that you would need in order for us to consider your project complete. So we have some examples here of some of the items or documents that you might need. For example, for a workshop or training, you'd probably need an overview of the workshop. You would probably need some advertisements or a schedule, maybe some workshop handouts. You're most likely going to need a PowerPoint with speaker notes, maybe consent forms. Again, these are all just suggested documents. You may need these, you may not. You may need others that are not listed. Again, everything depends on your project, your audience, your location, your topic. For example, your program that you're proposing might be a rather large program, it might be a small program. So again, just use this as sort of a guideline as to what type of documents you would need for your project. And so the project plan is a way for you to organize and schedule out how you're going to submit these documents to me or to your ARP instructor. So in week 1, this is just showing you the different submissions. So weeks 1, week 2, and week 3 have already been done for you. So what you're going to complete is weeks 4, week 5, week 6, and week 7. Because in weeks 4 through 7, you're going to be submitting those peripheral or supplemental documents based on whichever week you indicated you would submit them. So for example, if I am doing a workshop, I would list that in week 4, I'm going to submit my workshop overview. And then in this column, you just give me, it says detailed, but it should also be brief. Just tell me exactly what that document is for. And so I would say something like a document that outlines the purpose of the workshop, where it will take place. And then I could continue to write saying where it will take place, when, location, who my audience is. Now, a workshop overview shouldn't be more than, I'd say, 1 to 2 pages. So don't feel like you have to rewrite your proposal in any way or rewrite the literature review. This is just sort of a document that you would maybe hand into, say, a supervisor if they wanted to get a better idea of what this workshop was about. Then in week 4, I might also submit maybe a flyer. And then here again, I describe flyer for what, or what information will be on that flyer. Now, one of the common questions that we get is, do I have to have 4 deliverables each week? No, you do not. You should probably spread everything out evenly, though. You don't want to give yourself 1 week that is more time-consuming, or that might have too much to do in 1 week and then nothing to do in week 5 or 6. The other suggestion that I have is that you submit your PowerPoint. If you are creating a PowerPoint, you should submit it probably during weeks 5 and 6. That way you have enough time to revise if your ARP instructor gives you any feedback. So I wouldn't leave anything major for week 7. That way there is still some time to get some feedback and apply those revisions. So again, you might need all these spaces. You might actually have to add more, and that's fine. Again, it all depends on your project. So if you have 2, 3 deliverables each week, that's absolutely fine. Once you submit your project plan, your ARP instructor will give you extensive feedback on whether they think these documents are appropriate. And how we do that is we review your proposal and your literature review. We kind of go by that and see if these documents are consistent with what you said you were going to do in your proposal. So we might let you know that there's something missing or that you don't need a certain document. So that is the project plan. You're going to download the project plan, fill it out, and submit. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.